Another update for you. Last night I sprayed some paint on the car. Well, on the front end anyway. As you can see, it dried up to like a really nice satin black. And the product that I used here in the engine bay is Zero Rust in the black. As you can see, it's got a little bit of texture to it, but you know, I can live with that. It's gonna be painted over anyway. I just needed something to cover up the metal. In some places it was scuffed up with a higher grit, like an 80 grit, you know, just to scuff up the paint. The OEM red paint that was on there, I'm sorry I don't have any before and after, but in other places I actually used a lower grit, a 40 grit, and well, the 40 grit took it down to bare metal, so I use this stuff because it's DTM, direct metal. It'll go on painted surfaces, it'll go on rusty surfaces, as long as you knock all the loose rust off. It'll go on anything. And I also use this stuff on the underbody, but as you can see, it dries up kind of flat, and I wanted something that had just a little bit more gloss to it. So I actually top coated on the underbody with 415 top coat chassis black. And this stuff is all in the mixing. If you mix it right, like this right here, what you're looking at is fresh out the can, no mixing at all. I just stirred it up and didn't thin it, just sprayed it. And this is how it dries up. However, if you do thin it, as you can see here, the wheel wells I actually did thin, and they dried up to an even glossier satin black. As you can see there, it's got a little shine to it, but because it is a rust preventative paint, I tried to thin it out as little as possible because I wanted it to be more effective than anything else. So I figured, you know, if that's the bottom of the car, by the way. I sprayed the whole thing. This is all 1 quart that you're looking at. There's the underbody there, but that's a whole nother story. I just did the engine bay. Still got some work to do, but just to have something sprayed on the metal. And again, it dries up to a satin black here, and that's just with a little bit of mineral sprites to whack down the product. But you know, it really doesn't have to be as strong here because I'm spraying this with truck bed liner anyway. Yeah, but you know, if you whack it down, it looks a little bit shinier. But if you can deal with this kind of matte black, then you know, it's great. And as you can see, I still need to do a little bit of work with the body filler. I don't know if you can see that right there. Let me go over that. And you know, there's a few imperfections in the firewall, but I don't even know if it's gonna show up on the camera. But after I hit it off with, you know, another coat of body filler, you won't be able to tell. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and fill all these holes that you see, and I'm gonna smooth out the strut tower caps, which is this crack between these two pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and feather that out, and see this part is kind of ruffled. Go ahead and grind that down and get some body filler around there. I also have some rattle cans, so I'm gonna do some spot spraying. There's a few places that I couldn't reach with my gun and I didn't have a touch up. Like if you look up in there, I missed that, but you know, it's all good. And this is the battery tray, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's all pitted. I used a wire wheel and a wire brush to get all the loose rust off, and I wiped it down real good and prepped it and sprayed the Zero Rust on there, and that's what you're looking at right now. But that battery tray, after, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with the body filler too, and after I get that down in there and smooth it all out, you won't even know. So anyway, guess I'll just give you another walk around of the car real quick, and that'll be my update. Wrapped a liner in there. Got an LS1 gas tank that ain't in there yet, but I put the track bar up. Painted the straps for the tank. Here's the underbody, and it's all satin black. That's the Core 15 top coat. But I used it on top of Zero Rust, and if you're gonna do that, you have to wait for the Zero Rust to completely cure, which probably might take a few days. I waited about a week, but you know, it came out nice. As you can see, I painted the springs. Before and after for you. The old struts are shot, so those ain't going back on. Rear end that I painted. So it's getting there. It's taking a while, but it's getting there. Anyway, I guess I'll get back to you when I have something else to report.